I know usually I get on black women about stuff, but I'm kind of gonna redirect my energy to, get on the flaws and the mistakes black men make, especially black YouTubers. Um, I just got through listening to this poem about. I listened to it like 5 times. Um, the name is escaping me right now because it was a while ago, but I know one of the chick name is Crystal Valentine or something. And to me, that was just unnecessary. It was uncalled for. You know, I can get where you're coming from, but I just don't like, the anger and anguish that, this double standard that black men have to live through. We're told, hey, you can love. Well, we're not, even in general, black people, we're told that, hey, you can love whoever you want. Love wins. Love whoever you want. It could be another man, it could be, someone of another race, and we're told this. And then when we do it, we're shamed, and then we're blamed for, oh, this is the reason why black women are single. This is the reason why black women are unmarried. And it's like, this is so confusing because it's like, when you do it, it's more, it's like, it's exceptional. It's a retaliation of what we do. And, when you date outside your race or when you date other women, you have a better claim to it. Not to say that, which gender, I'm not fighting for like which gender has the right to be deviant, but I'm just saying that it seems with black women when they do not date black men, it seems like it's always a retaliation of what black men are and aren't doing. Um, I kind of just get tired of, seeing these girls, and these girls get younger by the minute, and they have these kind of color purple issues and, problems with men. And, I usually just hate it that black men are still subjugated. Like the default black man is still the pants sagging, like 90s gangster stereotype. And then, and I know that wasn't like the only stereotype they brought up, but to me, it just feels like I really hate that these street dudes are, the default black men. And, it is just that, like, it's just too much for me to be responsible for their actions and their stupidity and for them not choosing you. I watched a little bit of Sarge's video response towards it, and he made good points. How are you crying for about media promotion when black men do not have a media outlet for you to give you um, this kind of pedestal? And another thing is that there's more black women in the media market who are producers who are more corporate. There's more black women who are corporate who can, get you these television spots. A lot of these, producers are women, they're black women. And, instead of just asking for, hey, give us more seasons of Love and Hip Hop, why don't you just say, like, hey, give us a show that helps build the self-esteem of dark girls. Give us a show you know, you know, by the adventures of a dark-skinned girl trying to find acceptance, trying to find love, and there's a happy ending at the end. Usually those type of shows are very rare. Um, there's plenty of things that these females can ask for, but yet black men we're still blamed for not having the media outlet to give them shine. But then again, you know, hold on for a minute. Yeah, like I was saying, black men are not in the in the there's not a lot of black men in the corporate world, and we hear a lot of stories, we hear a lot of statistics talking about, oh, black women are killing it in the game. They're so corporate, they're so educated, they're making more money. So I'm like, okay, if they're making more money and if they're ahead of us, why can't those black women give you guys an independent circuit media outlet so black women, especially dark-skinned black women, can get the promotion they've been crying and deserving? What's so hard about that? But instead, your so-called um, corporate black women in the media outlet, what they want to feed you. They want to feed us some crap, some drama, you know, bedwinch material. The women we see, they're nothing of substance. They're not really respectable. It's always around the image of, single, miserable woman sleeping with married men, and she's struggling to find love. It's always this struggle. And now how come dark skinned girls in the media, how come they just can't have it naturally easy to where they're not worrying about struggling? They don't have to think about struggling. Just saying like, oh hey, yeah, I just have trouble like with guys, but it's not major. I can easily get a guy. There's always a struggle. You know, you have to, some of these feminists and some of these girls who are complaining, you need to talk to your, your black female executives in the media, who are working for these major companies and, VH1, MTV. You need to talk to them about giving you promotion. You know, since most of you black females are in, well, not most, but a good bit are in black or black feminists or feminists. Go to MTV. MTV, is basically feminist run now. It's basically feminist run. So they just say like, hey, MTV, I see that you're trying to create this kind of intersectionality. You're trying to create these talks about gender and race, and I want to propose to you an idea to uplift the self-esteem of dark-skinned women. Here's the premise. Do you think it's worthy to be on your network? Stuff like that. You know, you have power. If you claiming that you have allies amongst white women, use it, you know, because black men, we don't have a media outlet. We don't have that, you know. We're trying to get it, but the thing is, we don't have one, you know. But when we hear stories of how women are killing it in the game, some brothers or most ain't motivated to do anything for you. They're not motivated to give you a platform, to give you that world validation that you're beautiful and that black men are so privileged to have black women. We don't have that. Um, Another thing that I wanted to talk about and well mention was that I kind of feel like there's a lot of men to blame for this mentality. And I'm not simping here, but I'm just gonna say like yes, there are dudes who think like that. You know, there are dudes like that. You know, you have your Crispies, you have your Tommy Sotomayors, you have your Coons, you have black MGTOWners, you have uh, um, you have a lot of these like really early, black YouTube just used to be nothing but black female bashing, black man bashing, and we some kind of latched on to it a little too long. And, you know, I seen some of you guys, some of you brothers videos about interracial dating, and you comparing about how Becky was better than Brittany, and you're talking about how Brittany was all difficult. She didn't want to give it up, and you're talking about Betty, and she was easy to get with. She was easy to talk to. She didn't give you no problems and shit like that. And we messing it up, and we're creating the monsters we hate. We're creating feminism. You know, we're creating the women that we despise so much. That's I'm kind of not gonna feel like I'm gonna be hell bent on MGTOW, and I probably might. I want to be kind of infamous in debating MGTOW, especially black MGTOW, because a lot of those guys are creating problems amongst black women. But I am hearing that a lot of black MGTOWs are leaving the general community because white men they're not um, they're not allowing them to talk about race. They're not allowing them to talk about certain issues, and white men cannot relate to black men's struggle into relationships with black women. White men do not have as much resistance when dating black women. So a white dude dating a black woman, most likely he's not going to be talking about, man, these black women, they love putting me on child support. You know, White dudes ain't gonna be talking about that. Not a lot of them. They ain't gonna be talking about how Shaniqua didn't want to give it up, the first night, or you know, they ain't gonna be having the same issues that black men have. And so another problem that I have with MGTOW, with the white ones, is that I see like some white dudes complaining about black women. I'm like, what are you complaining about? You're white. You have it easy. Go on beyond black and white or any other pro swirler YouTube account, and you'll see how black women are easy towards you. White men have no business or any reason crying and complaining about how black women are not, treating them right, or, how black women are ghetto. You can fix, your white privilege can fix any hood rat up. So you ain't gotta worry about that shit. You ain't gotta worry about that. White men have no business talking about black women, to be honest with you. But that's just me. But back to the subject matter, I just have to say that poems like these, us men, some of us men, we create these monsters. We create these feminist monsters because of our past actions. And I'll admit, I used to be like some of those guys on in the poem she made. I was the guy. I was the guy who used to had the Asian fetish years ago when I was a child. I was telling myself, hey, man, I'm gonna get me a Japanese chick, man. I'm gonna get me a Japanese chick, man. Those Japanese women, they're so cute, man. I'm gonna move to Japan, get me a wife there. And I used to be that. I used to be the guy that championed other women. I used to be the guy that championed mixed women, light skin. I used to be that. And, after seeing shows like Dark Girls, Light Girls, and all these other colorism documentaries, I kind of just came up with this realization that, hey, man, I don't want to be like those guys, those girls mentioned. I don't want to be the the dude that rejects this girl because of her skin tone. I don't want to be. I don't even want to give the false impression that I did that. So when black women, even when they don't seem like they get mad over interracial dating or whatever, when I talk to black women, and we're talking about types of guys, not types of people we are attracted to, and they ask me, would you date outside your race? I'll say no. I remember I told a black girl, that she was light skinned, and she looked at me crazy, like when I told her I only date black women, and she looked at me crazy, and I was just like, yeah, you're gonna look at me crazy, but there's always a black woman watching me. There's always a black woman watching me. You know, if she sees me with Becky or any other woman that's not black, she's gonna take it as a diss. She's gonna take it to offense. And I'm just gonna say like, hey, I'm only in real talk. I am only attracted to black women. I might give biracials a chance. I might, but my strong desire is for black women only. You know, so I'm aware that some black men are color struck. I think it's going away because I don't think black men. I don't think a lot of them in mass are like really desperate to find their ideal light skin or mixed woman. I think most of the time with black men thinking, I think most of the time their thirst kinds of you know kinds of kicks in before if they can't find anybody, they're just like, okay, let me just find her. I'm not gonna worry about colorism because I see a lot of dark skinned women in relationships, and getting married without any problems. So I think colorism is going away, or I will at least say dying out. But I will say yes, there are guys who still have issues, um, and like based off the poem, you have street dudes who idolize other races of women. I seen it. I've seen it. I heard it. I've seen black guys in the going into Latin clubs, and they're looking for the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans. They're looking for that. So yeah, I know those street dudes. I see the mentality of the street dudes. I see how when you know certain local rappers get money. I see how they'll drop their black. I don't sometimes I won't say they drop their black girlfriend, but they might be single maybe, but you'll see that when they're dating, you'll see them with these mixed girls, these mixed black girls that they look like they have a bit of black in them, but it's kind of like she could be Latina. She look like she's from the islands. Those kind of like iffy girls. And, and I see that. I see street dudes, champion the mixed women, the Dominican and all these other light skinned women, and I see that. And I also see the lames. I see some of the lames you know, Jamil the King. He was the YouTuber that I talk about a lot on my page, and he talks a lot about about Asian women. He talks about it every day. He has these weird bipolar videos to where He'll make one video about why he loves Asian women so much and why they're so beautiful, why not Dominicans, why Filipino women are the shit. And then he'll make a another video 5 minutes later about like what's wrong with these Asian women, man? These girls ain't liking me. Like what the fuck, None of these girls like me, man. I've been talking to this Asian girl uh this week, and she ain't talking to me. And I want to talk to another Asian girl next week, but I feel like she ain't gonna talk to me either. And I'm like, oh shit, that's a big ass bird. Ah, damn, I wish I could take a picture of this shit. Uh, Hold on real quick. Ah, shit. I had cut off for a minute, but I'm back now. I'm hurry up and finish this video. But like I was saying, there are lames out there who contribute to this madness as well, because we'll have people like Jamil the King who fetishize Asian women, and then the thing is he'll complain about how the Asian women don't like him, but then he'll champion them up and like saying like, oh man, the Asian women, they're the shit, they're so much better than everybody else. And you know it's this weird bipolar thinking. you know then we have other guys. I've seen other videos, older videos, to where black guys are talking about dating white girls and how it was so much better than dating black women. And I think the biggest problem, and I took this lightly. I took this so lightly back in the day, but I'm starting to realize how much of a problem it is. Tommy Sotomayor. I have issues with that. I think a lot of, I think he played a big part in their thinking, because I don't like him because it gives a false impression of black men, and his fan base is very misleading. You know, his fan base is very misleading, and you would think that he gets a lot of publicity and he has a lot of fans, but in actuality, he doesn't. But because of his white listeners are masquerading as black, and he's linking up with other coons, it's making it seem like, oh, this is the majority of black men. This is what he thinks. Look at his views. He gets uh, 50,000 uh, views a day. You know, he, he look at him. He's going on tours. If you didn't understand like how fake he is, you would think that he's very popular and shit like that. And so I kind of, he creates a lot of problems, and guys like him, they create a lot of problems because their fan base is very misleading, and they falsely represent all black men. Um, I'm gonna say the last people to blame is a lot of these hotep niggas. With the whole one drop rule, in the poem, these girls were talking about how guys be wanting this super submissive woman. And they like these mixed girls who have black mothers, but they have recessive black traits. Those safe traits that that aren't too dark, aren't too light. Is just right, just the right amount of blackness and non-blackness and shit like that. And I see a lot of hotep niggas, especially those in the Hebrew community, the Hebrew and GMS. They're a complete mess. You have a lot of these brothers and these Hebrew cults, these Hebrew um, organizations, and they're spreading a lot of bullshit, and they don't know how to talk or deal with black women, And so they're saying all kinds of crazy shit, especially GMS. They're saying all kinds of crazy shit. And they're talking about how, black women, they're whores. And, they don't deal with black women, but, they're quick to deal with other races of women. They're quick to deal with white women. They're quick to deal with Latin women, Asian women. They're quick to deal with them, but when it comes to black women, they're like, nah, that's nah. And yet we have a lot of those type of religious nuts going around, you know, acting pro-black, but when it comes to dating women, they're looking for that black safety net, that mixture, that perfect just right, or they'll just get somebody who's not black at all. And then when they have a child, they'll be like, oh, this biracial child's mixed. I mean, black. This biracial child is black. The black gene is superior. The black gene is dominant. That's why they look like that. That's why, you know, the white gene is recessive, and it does, it cannot compare to the black chromosomes and genes, and it's this whole shit talk, and it just creates a lot of problems, and you know a lot of these hotep niggas are asking for fantasies. They're talking about, we deserve, because I'm a Hebrew, or because I'm Egyptian, because I'm Moor, I deserve, because of my faith, I deserve this super submissive black woman who can yield who yields to me because I am the voice of God. I am a Moor, I am this and that, and she needs to bow down to my greatness. And we have a lot of these magical niggas out there who are acting like they're these new age prophets. That's the problem. That's another problem that we have too. We have too many men who don't build shit, and then they have the nerve to ask for this kind of this super submissive, perfect 10 black woman. And it's like, like, what did you build, nigga? Just because you are in this faith doesn't mean that you deserve her. That you deserve this kind of Beyonce type woman or whatever. You have too many magical niggas with that mentality. I didn't want to beat up on black men, but I will take responsibility because I've played into it myself years ago. But the approach that these women take are wrong, and they're generalistic. It's, you don't have to get in on that. If you have a problem with black men, you come to black men circles. You come to black men organizations, clubs. Make a call. Talk to certain black men, because the problem with these feminists is that they will make this is not even just a problem with black feminists. This is a problem with black women in general. Is that they will use their struggle, and their struggle will be for white people's entertainment. Watch the video. It's in the description box, and you'll see how, listen to the claps that the audience give on certain words in the poem. You know, they love that shit. And the problem is that with black women is that they entertain the dominant society with their problems. They don't care about. They're not even trying to fix it. You're just entertaining them. When you watch shows like More, you think that the white audience gives a damn about, for example, Rebecca Black. You think they give a damn about her children not knowing who the father is? You think they give a damn? No, they just be like, oh, hope she brings the wrong niggas, so we can laugh at her, so she can come back next week, and keep coming back, and she'll keep making a clown of herself. They don't care. Those white folks don't care about black issues. They see your problems as entertainment. That's the problem. You gotta stop feeding into them. You gotta stop feeding your drama. Stop feeding them your tears. because they're not gonna fix anything. Those white feminists ain't gonna fix shit. They're not. They're not gonna fix shit. And I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to like know why do black women run to these white women for safeguard? Those white women aren't gonna straighten out the black men. They're not gonna come to black men and be like, "You need to love your women. You need to show better respect. You know, you need to stop liking my women, my white sisters, and you need to love your black women." They're not gonna do that shit. They don't care about black women at all. And now I was on Crystal Carazan's site, Beyond Black and White, and like usual, you have these Captain Save a Ho white dudes coming in the front, and there was like a video response. I believe it was like a video response from like the critics of the poem. I think one of the critics were like, well, I think they were talking about Sarge. I think they didn't use his name, so I'm assuming it's Sarge. But you know, it was this white dude and this white. It was a white couple, and it was a white dude by himself. And the white couple was like, "Oh, I don't understand why black men abuse black women. I don't understand why they call them ugly. These dark skinned girls are beautiful. You know, they're wonderful. They're beautiful women. You know, any guy would be blessed to have them. You know, they're beautiful. I don't understand why black men treat them so bad." And I'm like, "You're white. You're a white woman. You would never, you would never want to share your pedestal with a black woman. Be honest." And even if you wouldn't think that, the majority of white women would never share their pedestal with a black woman. That's why when you look at magazines, fashion magazines or whatever, you always tend to see three attractive, slim white women and one obese black woman. Just like the Target ad. Just like how they used to clown Gabby Sidibe. They're not trying to share their pedestal with black women, especially attractive ones. They're not going to do that. You know, they're not going to do that. I don't know where black women get this idea that, you know, they're going to share, that white women are going to share their pedestal. They're going to share their beauty standards, you know. White women are not breaking their back just to give black women some self-esteem. They're not going to be like, "Oh well, you know what? We need more women of color to we need more black women on our ads. You know, we need to put more black faces so we can get, you know, more money, you know, for the black community. You know, we need more black actresses on the covers of these magazines. You know, we need more black women in modeling, major modeling companies, you know, to boost the self-esteem." These white women aren't gonna share the pedestal with you. You know, I hate Crystal and Karazine's white fan base because they'd be like the biggest liars. You know, these white folks love black women so much, but yet, you know, they're not going to say shit about uh, Sandra Bland. They will never fight with you when those black women were being raped by that white police officer. Those white women weren't fighting for you when those girls in McKinney were attacked and were attacked by that officer. Those white women didn't have your back. Black men were yelling, screaming, and telling white feminists to fight for you because you abandoned us. We were telling white feminists, "Where are you for women's rights since you stole our women?" We were telling them. So that poem can go to hell and they can shove it where it doesn't shine. Because black men has always had black women's back when it comes to major issues. Major issues. Talking about some of you black feminists be getting angry talking about where the black men at in these Black Lives Matter um, protests. Black men have been screaming for years, decades about racism, white supremacy, and black women didn't believe us. They didn't even want to believe it. They were like, nah, this, racism's there, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, then Trayvon Martin kicked off. Now everybody's onto it. Black men knew this shit from the get before Trayvon. Before that. But anyways, man, we always had black women's back when it came to major issues. You black feminists run to white women talking about how black men don't love you and how we objectify you and we don't treat you right. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Stop letting these thugs, these bad boys, um, mess up your mind. Because there's plenty of good black men out there who can treat you right and can provide for you. But because of your feminism and the sex positive movement, you're not trying to be with the right guy right now. You want to be with Pookie because he has a good D game. And now you're feeling objectified. Now you're feeling like you can't compete with the white girls. Now you feel like you can't compete with the light skins and the mixed girls. Now you're feeling some type of way when other girls take your spotlight. I don't know how black feminists can forget about that. It was black men like Roland Martin, Dr. Umar Johnson, who was saying, where is the white feminist at for these black girls? But you forget that. So I'm not going to bring it up anymore. You forgot that. You forgot that. You didn't even pay any attention to that. So whatever. They forgot that. I'm not going to repeat myself. Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware that there are guys like that who champion other races of women, but there's plenty of other guys that like black women, so that shouldn't even be a problem. But then again, black men are facing mixed messages. We're getting mixed messages. We're telling, black women are talking about race has no color. I mean, love has no color. So okay, well, if love ain't got no color, well, why are you getting mad when I date Becky? What's up with that? So when black men date outside their race, I just want black men to just kind of be careful. Be careful because black women's self-esteem is ridiculously low, and every action that you do, especially if it's negative, hurts them tenfold, no matter what you do. So I just want black men to be a little bit more careful in what they say about black women, especially when they're not even attracted to them in the first place. So that's all I gotta say. Oh, and another thing I wanted to mention and bring up was that if white women cared about you, I kind of already said this, but I'm like, if white feminists really cared about you and really gave a damn about your feelings, How come they can't sacrifice their media outlets for you? Cosmopolitan, it's a feminist magazine, yet they were dissing black women. These women aren't going to share their pedestal with you. So you can dry off your tears and stop holding their hands because they're not trying to fuck with you like that. Sometimes I kind of wonder, are black women too soft? Is there like a mixed messages? I feel like, there's all these songs about how strong, independent black women are, but there's always, something that happens and black women are crying, like they're like a 2-year-old. Mixed messages. Gotta stop that. Not mad at black women in general, but I'm mad at these black feminists because, you know, they they cry about everything. And the major issue that I have is this whole objectifying black women versus putting them on a pedestal. It's like, okay, if I put you on a pedestal, if I put you on a swimsuit magazine and there's good reviews, all of a sudden you don't like it because oh, the women are in a swimsuit. And I was like, yeah, the women are in a swimsuit. It's a swimsuit magazine. Why are you mad about it? Oh, well, you're objectifying women. How? But if I put a female face into the, if I was a female and editor, then it wouldn't be objectifying. It's too many mixed messages with these feminists, and that's why, I do my best, and I know that, black feminists do not represent black women. And I'm really hoping that black women can also set the tone and say, hey, these black feminists need to stop talking for me because they have no clue what they're talking about. But yeah, let me upload this video. I hope this video gets good reviews. I'm going to be listening to more of these girls' poems because I really think that a lot of these girls are sending bad messages about black men, and it's time for black men to kind of step in and say, hey, this is what really goes down. This is what really happens, or just say like, hey, you missed the point or something. So you know maybe those experiences happen to those girls. I'm sorry that happened, but we have to, you know sorry that happened. I used to be like those type of dudes, but you have to understand the dynamics that's going on that creates those type of dudes. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.